How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring the Yamato, the legendary tier Japanese battleship. Yamato now has access to probably the best commander, Borg Queen, which we are still using since the last time we featured it, which I'm pretty sure was a super scuffed build where we had Firefighter, which gave us terrible turret traverse. Well, we're using drill bits instead, and our inspirations have also changed. I think I was using Maki and Scharnhorst to kind of give us that dispersion that we would otherwise get from using marksmanship. But since marksmanship is in the same row as master mechanic, it's just simply much more useful to have master mechanic just so we can sustain much longer rather than just simply being burnt down. Although I will say, I guess if you really wanted to, you could use firefighter and marksmanship, but then you won't have drill bits or crisscross, and your turret traverse will be bad, but you'll still be somewhat tanky, and then you can benefit from accuracy. But more often than not, just going with Master Mechanic is going to work. Uh, I don't think I said what I changed, but I got rid of Scharnhorst, and instead I now have Andrew Cunningham to get our Sigma up basically as high as possible. And, well, I guess not as high as possible. We could get rid of Maki as well, but then we're not going to have any sort of dispersion buff, which we kind of do need, not having marksmanship. And the way this game is, having camo and concealment mod, which I mean 99% of players use at this point, you're going to have a 9% dispersion debuff, or rather almost 10, 9.5 or so. So if you're not using any sort of dispersion buffs as inspirations or commander skills, your accuracy is going to be absolutely horrendous. And if you are unfortunately unlucky enough to not, I guess, spend money on this game to get some of the premium commanders, you're going to be stuck with the basic commanders. I mean, I guess you'll probably be using the sniping one if you're using battleships versus the brawler commander. But at this point, brawler commanders are sort of dead. There's just so many other commanders that exist. All are now hybrids. I mean, including Borg Queen. We get Flammable Cannoneer and a lot of survivability skills. And then you have stuff like Riker for the Americans, Hyde, Nelson, the new British battlecruiser commander, even Wakamo, the Russian one. Like, everything at this point is moving it towards hybrid and sniping builds, or at least giving you much more range. And, well, unfortunately, your typical brawler commanders, Willis Lee and the like, just simply aren't going to be used, and you're going to be at a major disadvantage. For example, if we were to use Kondo on Yamato, we would basically only have access to aiming systems, which is 7% dispersion buff, but the incoming fire dispersion debuff, like I said, is about 10%, so you're going to have about 3% worse dispersion, which is pretty bad, especially for a Yamato, only having 1.8 Sigma. Uh, and then to, I guess, add on to that, the only commanders that give you dispersion buffs as an inspiration are actually paid for. So Maki and Scharnhorst, one from Azur Lane and the other from, is it Blue Archive? Pretty sure it's Blue Archive. But yeah, there's no free commander that gives you dispersion, unfortunately, so you kind of have to suffer. And I guess that's kind of why at this point, especially for things like Ohio, we've been moving towards Riker and accuracy builds because, just simply put, it's much more effective to just simply build for accuracy and have that tankiness versus trying to play with secondary builds. I guess the only way we can play with secondary builds is if we go and, say, play ranked or something, but we're never going to have ranked at legendary tier. And if we're playing at tier 7, I mean, you can use a lot of things, but more often than not, you're probably going to use something like Atlantico. So, yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully one day they just rework the entire commander system or make brawler commanders much more worth it to push in, especially there being, stuff like, at least that legendary tier Gnan. You also have Blue, Louisiana, just a whole lot of consumable spam that deal kind of a lot of damage. I mean, we're going to get the hybrid Japanese battleship soon, so that's going to be Overmatch plus planes. So yeah, it's going to be kind of kind of in a bad state for any brawling battleships or battleships that want to use those brawler commanders. So Schlieffen, I mean, we already think is dead. It's going to be even more dead come the Japanese hybrids. And yeah, it's not great. But anyway, Yamato, we've been doing fairly decently. Well, got rid of the Des Moines. Venezia just kind of been kiting at the back, and now he's running to the border. Kind of just going to ignore him. Not really any sort of point to chase him into the corner. We could go fight the Repub, but seeing as we're in a pretty good spot and this Yamato is going to try to go bow in towards the battleship at sea, we're in a pretty good spot to crossfire him, so we're going to be patient here, wait for him to actually turn in, and then we can also fire a full salvo with our spotter plane. Yamato starts slowing down, so I fire a full salvo. He's sort of broadside, slightly angled, but Yamato does have improved pen angles. Dispersion looks decent. Not a single citadel, but we actually did a huge chunk of damage, which is kind of funny. All thanks to Borg Queen's unique skill to give us more damage if we're just shooting AP the whole time, which I feel like in a Yamato you're always going to be doing. And then also on top of that, we do have drill bits. So yeah, Borg Queen kind of just makes all of the other commanders that the Japanese have kind of useless at this point. I mean, even the Arpeggio, Yamato, and Musashi, I feel like Borg Queen is just much better. Venezia finally comes out of the corner to shoot, but he's starting to turn away to run to the border again, so we're gonna just ignore him again. Repub sort of is pushing in, so we are going to angle. Enemy Vermont is running away, and he's beyond 20 kilometers, so I doubt he's going to have the range to shoot at us. But there have been some players lately that have been, I guess, memeing with those 20 plus kilometer builds, but I doubt it. The amount of commanders you would need to do so is kind of a lot, and it's a lot of commander resources and not really worth it. Repub stops. Gina and Torps are going to land on him. We got a pretty good salvo, and Repub gets absolutely smashed. Unfortunately, we still haven't picked up any kills yet. We just have a bunch of assists, so we're not able to make use of our legendary reload mod. But that's okay. We're in a pretty good position. It looks like the Vermont wanted to push in towards sea. If we start heading over there now, there's a good chance that we can catch his broadside, especially because the direction that he was kiting, his guns are going to be on his right side. And if he wants to shoot at our friendly battleship in the cap, he is going to be broadside to our position. Checking our range because I have no idea how far we can reach. It's 19.1 and we just get inside range for this Vermont. Unfortunately, we can't see him, so we're just going to rely on aim assist a bit. Hopefully RNGesus blesses us with some God tier dispersion and some citadels. But since we can't see, it's more than likely we're not going to get it. Lead is good. Dispersion, pretty good. Landed kind of where we wanted to. But Sigma wasn't quite there. We hit a lot of shells, but it didn't land exactly where we wanted to. But now that we can see him, we can actually take our time and actually lead properly, and also get the line at the water line. But unfortunately, our dispersion is just going to troll us. That's the issue with, I guess, relying on Sigma most of the time. You're either going to get a God tier roll, or you're going to basically get a shotgun. But it is unfortunate. Vermont has basically no hands. He hasn't even tried turning. It's possible that we haven't been spotted and he thinks we're just, I guess, too far or something. We finally get spotted. Dispersion looks much better this time, and we finally start landing some citadels. We get 2 citadels and take almost all of his HP. Too bad we couldn't get one more, or at least have 1 stack of reload mod, and then that way we would have probably gotten a Dev Strike medal. But at this point, Vermont pushing in, he's on fire, he's definitely going to go down. Enemy Hindenburg that's been kiting is spotted. Our friendly destroyer and B is going to probably keep him spotted, so we're just going to slow down here and hope Hindenburg keeps charging into the objective to contest and maybe sonar our destroyer, and then we will be able to hopefully finish him off. Hindenburg goes unspotted. Our destroyer smokes up in the cap, so that basically gives Hindenburg the exact location where our destroyer is, so we can pretty much assume that the Hindenburg is just charging straight at the smoke. So we're just going to sit here. Venezia finally decided to start pushing in, but at this point the game is basically over and there's not much that the Venezia is going to do in order to turn this around. We're in a really good position. We can shoot at both this Venezia and the Hindenburg. And, well, Venezia is going to go down fighting the Hindenburg. There's also a GNN over there that's smoked up. B-Cap starts getting contested, so we know the Hindenburg is there, and he is definitely going to be charging at our destroyer. So we basically just sit here and wait for an opportunity to shoot at the Hindenburg. Our destroyer gets spotted by sonar. Hindenburg starts turning broadside to use all of his guns, as you probably should, and unfortunately for him, we were waiting for him and we're able to get a Citadel. Hindenburg goes down. We've done 275,000 damage. Enemy Shima gets spotted by a battleship through the island. Our guns are about to reload, but Shima, I don't think he's paying attention. Might be RGA getting spotted at 3 kilometers versus his concealment mods only spotting 2. Doesn't know where the conch is, and unfortunately for him, and for us, we don't actually get to finish him off. Conch gets him, match ends, and we do 275,000 damage, and unfortunately only 3499 XP. The game wanted to cock block us from that 1 XP. That's like 1 shell hit or something. That would have gotten us that XP. Maybe finishing off, I don't know, the Repub or something, or even the Des Moines. Unfortunately, we couldn't Citadel him when he was kind of broadside, especially with Yamato's improved pin angles and overmatch. But it is what it is. Still had a pretty darn good match. But yeah, it kind of goes to show just how useful Borg Queen is. I mean, using the other accuracy commanders that have marksmanship instead, you probably will have a few more, I guess, reliable salvos, but you're not going to have the same survivability. And on top of that, I mean, Borg Queen feels like it's made perfectly for Yamato, because Borg Queen's unique skill basically is just going to buff your AP. As long as you keep shooting AP and seeing that Yamato doesn't have to shoot HE because you overmatch 32, I guess it's just meant to be. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more, and share with your friends, or leave a comment down below for other ships you want to see in the future. But anyway, guys, until next time, aloha.